Talk Up Youth, brought to you by National Baking Company in association with TVJ and the Jamaica Observer, a Stanley and Empress production.
I went to Vauxhall as deputy head girl. One evening I had taekwondo training and my aunt couldn't pick me up, so I ended up taking the bus from Yout home with my friends. Took a 78 bus to halfway tree, and as we walk on the bus, the lady yelled out, "I don't want to whore her teeth on my bus, come off of the bus." I decided I wasn't going to come out. The conductor yelled at her saying, "You can't style people picnic, sir." And she kept screaming until she drew scissors after us saying, "No one can rob me, and everyone from Vauxhall a thief. I don't want a thief on my bus." All the way she screamed and yelled. The only reason why I never answered her was because I respected my uniform and I didn't want to dishonor the school.
My youths, my youths, my youths. What is a stigma? A symbol of disgrace. A stigma is an attribute, behavior, or reputation which is socially discrediting in a particular way. It causes an individual to be mentally classified by others in an undesirable, rejected stereotype rather than in an accepted normal one. No matter whether you're from Cherry Gardens or Dunkirk, you can't tell me that every house in that community has the same moral values or behaviors. So how can you define an individual in that way? There are great young Jamaicans who have excelled from the inner city and those who haven't, and vice versa. Uptown has produced great young Jamaicans who have excelled and those who haven't. But who are we to judge anyone because of where they're from, what they look like, or even their religious affiliation? First of all, Unique, tell us about your story. Tell us about the stigma which is attached to your community.
As in, like, I'm from the Nannyville Gardens community, and like, people tend to stigmatize the community because of what they heard or what somebody told them, but it's not a surety thing that they positively know that that is what's going on in that community. For example, like, I was at school and they had a big congregation under the tree, and like, they were asking, where are you from, what community are you from, and they asked me, "Yannick, what community are you from?" And I said, "Nannyville Gardens." Everybody was like, "No man, Yannick, you're a bad girl, you'd beat me." And I said, what? Sometimes I don't understand and I don't get it, but it just goes to show that people just stigmatize you because they just don't know the real issue. Real issue.
Tell us your story now, Nikisha.
Well, my story occurs after doing my grade 9 achievement test, which I studied hard for because I needed to go to one of my dream schools, which is either Meadowbrook or Wolmer's. I did the exam after months of hard work and did pass for Meadowbrook. And when it was time for me to enroll in Meadowbrook, then there was a problem because of where I was living at the time, which was 12 Grape Road, Kingston 11. When my mommy went to the school to enroll me, at the sound of where I was living, then there was no space in the school,
Dr. Freeman, what advice would you give to these young ladies and the youth out there who are suffering from stigmatization? What advice would you give to them?
You know, Empress, Yannick and Nikisha are perfect examples of what we want our youths to become. You know, they're showing us that success or being successful really is being more of what you're capable of being. And so they're living and working with a purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today representing the unrepresented, the youth who are highly likely not to be presented, the youth who are usually rejected and ejected and dissected. I represent the youth on the corner. I represent the youth in the juvenile center. I represent the youth whose ambition is guns and ammunition, gunshot mission. I represent the youth who no longer believe in the Don, the church, or the politician. I believe in no one, not even myself.